Before we start today, I have to tell you about State Farm agent Brian McDevitt. A lot of our listeners have gone to him for all their insurance needs, and he's been very helpful in getting them the coverage they deserve. There's no games with Brian, just here to help and make sure you feel safe. So if you have insurance needs and you haven't called him yet, what are you waiting for? Dial up the number, 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Or find him online at ryanismyagent.com. That's ryanismyagent.com. And make sure to mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I want to start today with this. If you're new to the program or new to the channel, I am a very hard person to please. Maybe that's a fault. Maybe I expect too much from these Chicago teams. But I do believe in my position, I should hold people accountable. For those of you who watch me for Bears coverage, how many times did I hold Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy, Bears management accountable? Last year, even this year too. How many times have I said to trust the plan with the Bulls, to wait and see about the Cubs, and lean towards a rebuild? I've always told you the facts. I've never lied to you. And to some that's construed as I'm too hard to please. I'm not a real fan. I should be more optimistic. Well, I'm here to tell you today that finally there's one team in Chicago that's genuinely pleased me, that I'm genuinely happy about. A team in which all around, I really don't have much bad to say, if any. They have proven everybody, not just me, that they are a World Series contender. They are the best team in baseball. 1 through 9 in their lineup is impeccable. And yes, their manager is a Hall of Famer. I'm talking about the Chicago White Sox. You know, I've heard people ask me, oh, you're a Sox fan, you're a Sox homer. No, I'm not. I grew up a Cubs fan. Now today I have no loyalty to anybody. This is purely fact-based. Those of you who are Cubs fans are certainly happy with what they're doing right now. But if you went head-to-head and you had to pick Cubs or White Sox, who's the better team right now? Hands down, it's the Sox. And it really isn't even close. I want you to take a look at their starting lineup. They only have one player with an OPS plus under 100, which means everybody in their lineup is an above-average hitter in baseball, some of them elite. Yermin Mercedes, Jose Abreu, Yohan Moncada. All of them elite. We're talking about OPS pluses above 130. That's elite. That's 30% to 40% better than the average player in the league. And usually, if it's around 150, you're talking about MVP. Jose Abreu's at 142, by the way. Only player on the team with double-digit home runs, 46 RBI. I think he's on pace to potentially repeat as an MVP right now. Tell me I'm wrong. He's put up the right numbers. Started off slow, but he's recovering. If that batting average could get up to 290 again, which I think it will, he'll be okay. He deserves to win another MVP in a full year. No COVID, so nobody could say, oh, last year was a fluke. No, Jose Abreu has always been consistent. I've been impressed with what he's done in his entire career so far. It's a shame he came here so late, didn't debut till he was 27. If he could somehow keep this up, I could see a Hall of Fame appearance. I'm not kidding. If his trend continues, It's been 8 years. If this could continue for another 5 or 6, it could happen. Besides, seeing who they elect today, why not put in Abreu? He's meant so much to this one team. Franchise lifer. And the numbers he's put up are always commendable. Rookie of the Year, MVP, I believe eventually World Series. There is no reason why he should not be a Hall of Famer right now, barring injury or unforeseen circumstances. Even Yasmani Grandal, who's still hitting a .131, has an OPS plus above 100. He's still somewhat producing. Might be slumping, but that doesn't mean he's been totally unproductive. Tim Anderson, Nick Madrigal, hitting above 290. Yermin Mercedes, above 300. Still, Billy Hamilton has turned it on a bit. I love this lineup. This is, to me, the best lineup in baseball. And if you disagree, show me a better one. Show me another lineup that has 8 out of their 9 hitters with an OPS plus above 100. I dare you. You can't. Unless you're talking about the All-Star game. Unless you're talking about the AL All-Star team or the NL All-Star team, there is not one lineup in baseball that has those numbers. Not one. They're indisputable. Now, word from our sponsor, True Classic Tees. Are you tired of boxy t-shirts that just won't get the job done? What about ones that feel too big and uncomfortable? I have that problem a lot, especially as a taller person. Thanks to True Classic Tees, though, those problems are over. See, I'm wearing one right now. Very comfortable, double-stitched for endurance, and custom-made to fit your dimensions. And get this, a portion of every sale goes towards helping homeless veterans get off the streets. So you're helping out our veterans, and you're buying quality material. Listeners of this program get a discount too. Use John10, that's JON10, to get 10% off your next purchase. Go to TrueClassicTees.com or find the link in the description of this video. True Classic Tees, top clothing and a good cause. And you look at the rotation. I understand not everybody is perfect yet. Dallas Keuchel's ERA is a bit high. Giolito's is coming down, and 3.73, very respectable. But how about Carlos Rodon and Lance Lynn? You know, it's so funny. I remember some White Sox fans who did not like the Lance Lynn signing. Oh, he's too much of an old school pitcher. All he does is eat up innings. Right. And now he wins. And now his ERA is 1.37. Remember that week in the offseason when the Sox acquired Lance Lynn and signed Adam Eaton? I did a video on it. Go back and look. I said these two moves prove they're a contender now. They're spending money. Oh, not enough money. Well, how those two moves worked so far. Maybe not Eaton, but definitely Lance Lynn. I don't care that he's 34. I don't care that he's not a brand name, household name. He's a hell of a pitcher. Been around the game for so long, since 2011. Always known to be a workhorse. Past 2 years, top 10 finishes in the Cy Young Award voting, too. He's never done that before. I mean, here's a guy who actually still throws 200 innings. I understand. Not important anymore to many people. It's important to me. Eating up innings, very important to me. I love a 200-inning pitcher. If I could find one anywhere, I'll take it. I don't care if his ERA is 4, whatever it might be, bring him in. He will conserve your bullpen. He has good endurance and stamina. And when the times get tough, he'll be there. In the playoffs, Lynn could be counted on to go 7 innings per start, not 5 or 4, then be taken out. That's very valuable. Extremely valuable. Look at Carlos Rodon, too. 1.98 ERA for a guy who wasn't even supposed to come back. was essentially told, we don't want you, but we'll take you back anyways. He was non-tender. The Sox blatantly said, we don't want you anymore. And he came back on a team-friendly deal, and now he's a Cy Young Award candidate. 80 strikeouts in 54 innings. 5-2 record. ERA under 2. He is a legitimate Cy Young Award candidate. Same with Lynn. 2 Cy Young Award caliber pitchers. When Giolito comes back, that's 3. Keuchel, good innings eater, and Dylan Cease, the young gun, doing well. Outstanding rotation. We're not even talking about, by the way, Kopech, who just got hurt. And yes, finally, the closing position has been settled. Remember what I said back in April when the Sox were 8-9 and Liam Hendricks' ERA was like 5? I said, don't worry. I know who Liam Hendricks is. This will not continue. Liam Hendricks was a former starter, turned bullpen piece, and in Oakland was actually a setup man before becoming a closer. He pitched 86 innings in 2019. He's known to be a workhorse, already at 31 now. He'll probably pitch at least 70 innings out of the bullpen in the regular season. And he hasn't missed a beat. Yes, he's had issues early on, but now his ERA is 2.05. That's exactly what you want. That's why you paid him. 13 saves, 2.05 ERA, eats up innings. ERA plus of 2.02, so 102% better than league average. That's what you need. That's why you signed him. The setup man role is a bit of an issue right now. Aaron Bummer, Jose Ruiz, Cody Hewer, Evan Marshall. That will get better with time, I believe. There's still time to work out those kinks and find the right 7-8-9 combo. There's time to do it. Because remember, it's only June 1st, June 2nd. There's still time here. We know who this team is now. Now it's time to smooth out any potential rough patches moving forward. The rest of the year should be dedicated to winning as many games as possible and smoothing out any potential problems. So that way they don't happen in the postseason. That's the way it has to be done. But I have to say, I'm genuinely in love with this team. Their production has been more than I even expected. 33-22, 96% chance to make the postseason, 13% to win the World Series this year. Remember, this is their first full year in which they've expected to be contenders. Last year, because of COVID, it wasn't. So even if they don't win it all, this is just the beginning. Wait till next year, the year after that, another year. You've got 3 to 5 years right now to do something if you're Chicago. It's year one, essentially, year one. So if nothing happens now, I guarantee you something will happen soon. And I've just been shocked, really, at how dominant they've been. Their Pythagorean win-loss is 36-19. Now that's based off run differential. The Sox have a plus 80 run differential. I mean, how is that possible? Plus 80. Plus 80. They dominate their opponents. And it makes sense when you have a rotation that gives up very little runs. You have an offense that has everybody with an OPS plus above 100. You're putting up runs every night. It truly is a shocking turn to see how dominant this team is. I'm still shocked. I'm very surprised. I didn't expect it to be this early. I thought we'd have to wait till later in the year or even next year to fully see this team emerge and to see all their potential on the field. We're seeing it now, daily. Yes, I know they had a couple of tough losses. Here's the real deal. They're still 2.5 games up. They still lead the division. Tony La Russa hasn't shot himself in the foot too much, despite what critics want you to believe. And the team is playing well. There is nothing to be worried about. Here's an article, by the way, from the Chicago Sun-Times. A Pythagorean examination of Tony La Russa. White Sox have 3 fewer wins than their runs for/against projection suggests, but it's nothing abnormal. Quote, a 32-20 record through Sunday, just a game behind the MLB leading 34-20 records of the Padres and Rays, hasn't halted critics of White Sox manager Tony La Russa. It's normal to be a few games above or below the Pythagorean projection. I want you to understand this for a second. The Sox are winning, doing great. Everyone's performing, no real issues. Critics are still finding a way to tear them down. By the Pythagorean projection, we have people. Still, it's June. Doesn't matter. Everybody is reaching for something. They are trying desperately to find a way to tear him down. And it's just so annoying. Can't you be happy about this? Can't you be excited for this team? Do you have to sit here and still tear down the manager? We get it. For the last time, we get it. You didn't want him. But you can't argue with their record and where they are. And I'll just say this, just to make it clear for everybody. If you're honestly complaining that your manager is winning you games, or trying to find ways to tear him down because he's not the guy you wanted, he's not new school, analytics, young, go root for another team. I'm not joking. Go get out of here. Leave. The criticism and the slander has been ridiculous. I'm not talking about his private life. I'm talking about on the field between the baselines. Every game. There's really nothing to complain about unless you find something to complain about. You could actively look, and if you actively look, you will find something insignificant like this Pythagorean thing. Oh, the Sox should be 36-19, not their current record. So those 3 games were because of La Russa. I mean, if you're going to go to that extent, and who are you as a fan? It's okay to hold people accountable. I said that to open up this show. You know me. I hold everybody accountable. But you have to give people praise if they're doing something right. You have to admit, well, they're winning. Good job. Not reach for the same branch time and time again. I'd understand it if they were 500 right now. That would be a concern. I'd say fire him. But they're winning. They're continuing to win. There's no reason to complain about them. And those of you who continue to find ways, I suggest you enjoy this. I mean, is that too much to ask? That you enjoy this run? That really, for the first time since 2008, you're a hell of a baseball team? And for the first time since 2005, you're a real World Series contender? Isn't that enough? Is there more that I'm missing? Just enjoy it. If they start dropping games, go on a 10-game losing streak, You'd have every right to be critical and to sit here and say, bad manager. But even after your mean Mercedes incident, the unwritten rules, what's happened to the team? Nothing. They're still winning. They're unfazed by media coverage, by critics. They are a close-knit group inside the clubhouse. Enjoy it. Celebrate it. This is a damn good baseball team. Let's acknowledge it sometimes. Sometimes. I understand if you're like me and you're a pessimist, you're a critic, you want to know what the truth is, you're hard to please. But this team is delivered on every level. The one thing I can maybe complain about is how Adam Eaton isn't hitting. And that's an individual thing, not a team-wide thing. This entire team is performing. Everybody is performing. The manager's winning games. He hasn't gotten in the way. Celebrate that. Cherish it. Enjoy this reign of baseball supremacy here in Chicago. Sure, the Cubs are a fun story, but you don't see me talking about them all day. You've heard what I've said about them. I don't believe in them. Great story. Don't believe in them. This is a team I believe in. This is a team I know is going to be right near the World Series this year and for the years to come. So let's all acknowledge that together. Let's stop reaching for petty complaints that mean nothing. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Mark Shanowski comes up next, so stay tuned. Hey, do you want to make some money this weekend? What if I told you I could offer you $250 free to bet on any game you want? Here's what you have to do. Go to sportstalkchicago.com/cash. sportstalkchicago.com/cash. Must be 21 plus, must be an Illinois resident. You can bet $250 free on any game you want for this upcoming weekend. Cubs and White Sox are back. NBA playoffs going strong, plus the NHL and Bears prop bets. This is, without question, the best time to put down some money and win a whole lot more back. That's sportstalkchicago.com/cash. sportstalkchicago.com/cash. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.